The tool Analysis of Variance allows us to compare more than two groups. So with the z-test or t-test, we were limited to comparing two things, and we compared things like Jillian Michaels against all other coaches, but it doesn't allow us to look at groups kind of individually. So what we have here is a data set of movies, and we have how long the movies are. This is formatted because this is the way Excel needs the data. The original format is here. This is what's much more common to be given in a workplace, but it's been reformatted to this format. So we go to Data, Data Analysis, ANOVA, single factor, and then I need to tell it where the data is. I'm going to hold Shift Command and then arrow that takes all of the rows there, all the columns, and then down for all the rows. I'll hit Enter, and it gives me the results. So it starts by a summary of different things. So this is the average length for action, average length for comedy, the variance, how many are in each one, and then just move that over a little bit so you can see it. And then the numbers that we've talked about in class. So this is the sum of squares between groups, sum of squares within groups, our degrees of freedom between groups and within groups, our sum of squares for the treatment, sum of squares for the error, the F value translated into a p-value, and a critical value. So we can generate some of this stuff on our own. So we could say equals this divided by, so the MST divided by the MSE is equal to F. See, that's the same number here. If we do F dist, so we give it our F value, our degrees of freedom 1 is here, degrees of freedom 2 is here. Right, that's our p-value, that's where it comes from. And then if we do F INV for interval, probability is 0.05, degrees of freedom 1, degrees of freedom 2. Okay, so these numbers aren't magic, they're just calculated, and then we just calculated them together. Even these numbers are not magic, right? So the degrees of freedom here is the number of groups minus 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. That means this value is 4 minus 1. And this number is the sum of these minus the number of groups equals sum. So how many people are in this overall? How many movies are there total? There are 219. And then we subtract 4 because there are 4 groups. We get 215. That part's all very straightforward. So that is how we can use the Data Analysis Pak to do a single factor or one-way ANOVA.